guys, it's just me today, and this is probably very weird. I'm sure you guys have all seen the video on Cimorelli's channel. If not, maybe go watch that. It might make more sense if you watch it before. I don't know how to introduce this. I'm just here today to sit down and tell you guys more about why I left Cimorelli. The reason I'm making this is not because there's anything wrong with the Cimorelli video, but just I was obviously very emotional in that video, and my sisters were very emotional, obviously. So I didn't really get everything out that I wanted to say because I was trying to just say kind of the short answer, not drag it out any longer than it needed to be, because it was obviously very hard to do in the first place. So I just wanted to sit down and give you guys a full explanation and give you more of a in-depth reasoning, I guess, why I left Cimorelli. That sentence itself is not something that is easy to say. I'm sure it's something you guys didn't expect I would be saying, at least not now. It's probably a shock to most of you, but for me, this was a long time coming. And that's exactly what I'm here to explain. So I think the best way to explain this is to just go back to when I was younger. My sister started the band when I was 7 years old. So I was watching them in the band, huge fan, little girl, just loving it. And they would do performances and songs. And I was like, oh, I want to be a part of it. That's so fun, obviously. And so when I was 10, then the band got signed and we were ready to move to LA. And that was exactly when I joined the band. So I was 10 years old. It was so exciting. It was like this fun thing I was going to do with my sisters, and it was great. So from then, 2010 to 2015, we lived in LA, and we were signed with a label. And guys, we did crazy things, like the most amazing years. Yes, they were also pretty terrible just because living in Malibu was hard for us, but you guys know about that. You don't need to go into that. Just personal things, but the experience was amazing, and the things that I got to do as a little girl and the things that I got to do in that band, just literally not even trying for it, I was just handed it. Like, they kind of toured and did music and all that stuff before we got signed, but I was literally just put into the band. Like, I wanted to be in it, but like I didn't have to work for it. I didn't have to try for it in the beginning, and that was crazy. Like, people don't just get handed that kind of opportunity to like go on tour, be on Good Morning America, travel the world, do all these big sponsorships with big companies, and do huge shows and merchandise and writing with huge people, and just like doing the thing, like the whole thing you would expect for a music career. Like, I did that, and I did that with Cimorelli, and it was insane, so crazy. So then towards the end of that is when I was about 15. And that was when I kind of started, that's the age where you kind of start like exploring who you're going to be, what you're going to do, what you're going to be like. But I was 15. I was 5 years into a career. So I wasn't like most teenagers where they're working a random job or maybe not even working at all, and they're living with their parents and they're just in school doing normal things. Like, I wasn't like that at all. I already had a career, like a full-time, real adult career, and I was 15. So it was a bit of a weird situation, naturally. Not to say it was bad, but it was weird to kind of have the next 5-10 years, however many years it would have been for me, just kind of laid out for you. Like, this is what you're going to do. Not that anyone was telling me that, but I made that choice. But I guess when I was about 15 was when I first started kind of feeling that maybe this wasn't for me. So that was when we were on tour in Europe. I think I was about 16 maybe, and I started to really want to go to college. And I really wanted to go to university in the South somewhere because I lived in Tennessee. I moved in 2015, and I was researching colleges, and I wanted to be an architect. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to like leave the band, or the band's going to end or something like that next year. And I'm going to go to college and I'm going to be an architect. Like, I was researching schools, making a plan, making a timeline, basically coming up with this whole thing in my head when I was 16 on how I was going to be an architect, because I really wanted to do that. But that didn't happen, obviously, because I'm not an architect. And then about a year later, when I was about 17, then I went to college. And I went to community college, not university. I was still in the band. I was just doing a couple classes. And I was thinking, I think I'm going to continue with this, and I'm going to be a nurse. And I'm going to leave the band, or the band's going to end, or whatever it is. And next year, like it was always like next year, then I'm going to be a nurse. I'm going to go to nursing school. Like that was a big thing for me. Again, that didn't last. And then about a year ago, then I realized that I had been looking at all these careers when I had really been designing, so graphic designing, for Cimorelli for 5 years. And so I basically, to kind of take you back, I hope this isn't confusing, I started making Cimorelli's album booklets. I started making t-shirts. I started making headers. I started making little flyers, promotional stuff like that when I was about 15. And I loved it. I loved designing. It was so much fun. While I was looking at all these other career paths, like a nurse or a freaking architect, whatever, I was designing like the whole time. And for some reason it didn't like click to me that that could be a career. But last year, then I started to realize I have a real potential to do this as a job. So I started learning actually, because for the years prior I was kind of just doing it for fun and not really putting any time into it, just doing it when Cimorelli needed something. And so I really went for it, and I started learning on Skillshare and YouTube, and I was gaining a lot of knowledge very quickly and finding myself just getting lost in the craft and learning it. And that brings me to about, what month is it? February, January? It brings me to like last summer, maybe early last year, last summer. I realized that I had been in the band for 9 years, and it was time for me to do something else. And before I continue with my discussion about design, I want to explain why I wanted to do something else, because some of you might be thinking, you love singing, you are always performing, you're in Cimorelli, like why did you want to leave? It had nothing to do with my sisters. I'm not on here to do some tell-all about my sisters, because there's nothing to say. It wasn't about my sisters, it wasn't about the band, it was not about that. I simply knew from a young age, like I said, from when I was like 15 and started exploring other careers, I knew that I wasn't going to do this as a career. I knew that music wasn't my thing. I love singing, I love making music, I love performing, and I love making YouTube videos, but it's not like my passion, my all day, every day, I just think about it all the time. Like if I had never been in Cimorelli, if I never thought about a music career, I probably would have written some songs in my life. I probably would have put up some covers, maybe done a couple things here and there, but I never, even when I was really little, like when you're dreaming of, oh, I want to be this, and I grew up, like a musician never crossed my mind. I was never like, oh, I want to be a singer, I want to be a star. Like it wasn't my thing. Do I enjoy it? Yes, obviously. Clearly you can tell by my life for the past 10 years, I like doing it, because if I hated doing it, I would have left a really long time ago. But I liked it enough to stay for 10 years. But you guys know when there's a difference between like your career and like your hobbies, or just like the things you like versus the things you want to do all the time. Music was never the career that I wanted. So through the 10 years that I was in Cimorelli, while it was an incredible, incredible experience, I was never like, yeah, I'm doing my thing. It was always like, I'm doing a thing that I started when I was really little, and I do it because I'm in it. I don't hate it, but it's not like, yeah, this is my thing. You guys have to realize that doing a YouTube career and doing a music career where you are your own record label, you don't have a record label, you don't have a manager, you don't have anything, that is what Cimorelli is. An independent, completely self-running machine. When you are that, it takes a lot of work. Like it takes way more work than just going to do a tour and releasing a song. Like it's all day, every day. It's a lot of the mundane organizational tasks, like scheduling, filming, editing, behind the scenes, strategizing, all those things. Like it's a lot. And all 6 of my sisters, including myself and our assistant, like those are the only people who have run this thing until now. And so I guess what I'm trying to say by explaining that is that the amount of tasks, or not tasks, but the amount of things that I really loved about the band took up a very small percentage. Those things were, like I said, singing, performing, touring, whatever, and hanging out with my sisters. Like, that was the best part of it. That is the hardest part to let go of. That is the part that makes me the saddest. Just that I won't be doing it with them anymore, because that's the most fun part. But when you're thinking about a career, then I couldn't think about hanging out with my sisters, because I can do that anytime I want. I can just ask them to hang out. They live down the street. Like, it's not a big deal. But it, like, broke my heart to realize that it wasn't the thing. I know I'm talking about it very casually, but it wasn't an easy decision to come to, obviously, because I came up with the really serious idea to leave a year ago, and you guys are just now hearing about it. It's taken a lot, and it's been a long time of thinking and not wanting to do this, and just, let me turn this on. It wasn't just like a snap decision, because it's been my whole life, guys. Of course it's not easy or fun or just like, yep, I'm gonna leave, bye. Like, it takes a lot of thinking. But it's hard to believe, just because I started when I was so little, and now I'm here, 20 years old, and I got married, and I'm having a new career, and just the experience was amazing. And yeah, sure, it was hard sometimes, and when you have a career for that long, there's gonna be times when you hate it and you don't want to do it for other reasons, and whatever. You guys, my sisters and I fight and stupid things like that, but in the long term, like, it makes such a difference. And just the things I got to do and getting to spend that time with them, like, it's not easy to talk about. It's especially hard when to do the career that I've dreamed about doing for a couple years now comes with the cost of giving up something that I've done for 10 years. It's really hard, and it's also hard having a thing not chosen for you, but just given to you at such a young age. Not that it was wrong of anyone, but just that you have that decision that you made for your life, and it's really hard to get out of if you don't want to do it. It's really painful, and there's people that you don't want to hurt, and I don't know, guys. I'm just trying to say it's hard. It's not easy. I'm trying not to cry. I don't want to get emotional because I already cried in the last video a lot, as you can see, and we don't need to see more of that. I just came here to be calm and collected and explain rather than freaking out like I did before, because I probably didn't explain that much. I'm sorry if I seem too calculated. Sometimes when I'm trying not to cry, then I sound like a robot and like I have no feelings, but trust me, guys, I've had plenty of feelings over this. Thought about it for so long, so it's not like, I don't know. If it comes across that way, it's just because I'm trying not to be upset about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, like if there's anything you guys would want to know or anything confusing. I guess I just want to get across that it's nothing to do with my sisters. It's nothing to do with, I don't know, I'm not mad at them for inviting me into this group so young. I'm not upset at anyone. I'm not like, oh, screw Cimorelli. Like, I think Cimorelli is amazing. And I got to be a part of such an amazing group, and we had so much fun together, and we went to so many places together, and they're going to continue to do so many awesome things, and it's really hard. It's super hard that I have to watch and that they're going to be going on tour without me and releasing music without me and videos. Like, guys, you don't understand how that would feel to me. But I hope it will be worth it. I hope that my sisters can continue to flourish and do amazing without me, and I hope that I can make people proud and not be a failure in this new career that I want to do. It's really scary to leave something so successful to start something new of your own. It's really, really scary, but I'm gonna try my best, and I hope that you guys don't judge me. Moving forward, I did want to address the fact that I am on a YouTube channel right now. I'm making a video right now. You might be thinking, why are you making videos if you're leaving Cimorelli because you don't want to do that? That is a good question. I don't really do anything. I kind of just get in the video, and Emmyn really does everything. He films the videos, he edits them, he takes care of it. So I love the content aspect of just being in it and being a person, but it doesn't have to take up full time. It doesn't have to be hours out of the day. So it works with my schedule. It's very flexible, obviously. And also, I'll probably release my solo music at some point. You guys know I have some songs. I think they got leaked or something. I have some songs. I'll probably continue to write music. I hopefully will appear in Cimorelli things in the future, or maybe featuring with Emmyn's music, Games We Play, or something like that. Like, who knows, guys? I'm not closing the door on the internet or music or anything like that, but I am closing the Cimorelli door just for time's sake. I'm sure you get it by now. I am starting school, an online school for software development. And you might be like, oh, you want to be a designer? Why are you being a software developer? The type of designer that I want to be now. Initially, I wanted to be a graphic designer a few years ago, but it's kind of it's kind of changed into something new. A type of design that heavily but works closely with people who develop, which is coding, so writing code that makes stuff happen. It'll probably be something like apps or websites or something like that, but guys, I'm just starting in this world. I'm literally doing school. As I said, I'm a complete beginner, so I don't know what I'm going to end up doing. I don't know what my career exactly is going to be. I do know it's going to be in the tech world, and I know that that is my thing that I want to do for the next how many years. I do believe I'm going to have a lot of careers in life, and this isn't going to be my last, but this is my next career. So I'll be in school. I do have another job. Like I said, I'll be on YouTube. I just got married to Emmyn. I'm sure you guys know that by now. So there's a lot going on in my life. It's not over, obviously. You're not gonna not see me. You'll see me a lot. Just doing a little different things, and hopefully doing it right, because I'm scared, and obviously it's terrifying to be out in front of the world and have that chance of doing it wrong and messing up and being a terrible designer or failing school or whatever, but hopefully that won't happen. So yeah, I hope you guys understand. I hope that all of the Sim fam who's watching knows that I love you, and I'm so grateful that I got to meet you guys and see you guys and perform in front of you guys and sing for you. Like, I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for that experience. And I'm excited for what's to come. I hope you guys are going to be here with me as I move forward and still talking to me on social media and keeping up with me, because I want to talk to you guys. I don't want to lose the Sim fam, obviously. Duh. So, yeah. I hope that covers everything. Again, I'm sorry if I seem unemotional. It's just because this is something that is very much, I don't know, it's been a really long time. If you had talked to me about this 8 months ago, I would not have been able to say any of this. I would not have been able to speak because I would cry too much. It's been a long time coming, so I feel like now I'm in more of a stable, focused, moving forward kind of mindset compared to before. So that's why I'm not like crying and losing my mind. Yeah, thanks for watching. I'm sorry if this was confusing at all. If you have any other questions, you can feel free to ask. Maybe comment them or message me on Instagram or something. Maybe I'll get back to some of you guys. yeah, I hope that all made sense. And I hope that you guys know that it was for the reasons that I said and not for anything else. Nothing negative, nothing dramatic. There's no secrets. It's just what I want. I love you guys. I love my sisters. If any of you guys are watching, I love you so much. I hope to see you guys soon.